What's up, my dudes? Let me adjust the volumes. Hang on a second. Alright. I hope the little thumbnail there didn't freak anyone out. It's supposed to be sarcastic. What's happening, Zigzag? Honest AF, Serrano. Is that music volume too loud? Like, is it? Can you still hear me? What's up, Shadow? What's up, Lex? Billy, Bob, and Sean. Let's get a bit of perspective on what the hell's going on. So, the last time we spoke, we had Bitcoin chopping sideways for 4 days because of Thanksgiving. This is like when was Thanksgiving? Let's have a look. So Thursday, and then Friday was the Black Friday thingy. So we've got 24th to the 27th, basically. Okay, so for me, that's like here. This section here is that 4 days of painful sideways chop that we had. And then a really nasty $500 dip, which has caused a lot of panic, apparently. But that's cool. We're still, we found support on 16, so that's all good. The yellow line here is the weekly closes and opens that we've had for the last 3. So, you know, we're in the same neighborhood. Now, I just want to like sort of reiterate, if we do drop to $14,000 or $10,000, it's completely okay. It's all right. It can happen. And it's actually probably a good thing, right? The lower Bitcoin's price goes, the more performance you get out of it, whether you're shorting or trading. So it just amplifies the volatility when you come down to a lower price. So no dramas there for trading, right? If you're investing, think about the opportunity of adding more and buying more Bitcoin for your dollar as price continues to fall, right? So I guess the mindset there is, if we're in a bear market, we should be going as low as we can. Same as in a bull market. If we're in a bull market, let's go as high as we can, you know? So, what's up, Aaron? Yes, I'm doing well. Hope you're well too. Yeah, I thought I'd do my hair up instead of looking like a bum this time around. I need a haircut though. Now, what happened in the stock market yesterday? Well, the dollar index, that made a new low just by a fraction. See that? That purple line was the lowest point we've come since, the high. So we haven't been that low since August. So it's been quite some time that we've been elevated. And this correction down was, very welcome. A welcoming sight to behold. At the moment, it's looking like a bit of a double bottom. So we've got touch 1, touch 2, potentially a rally off the back of that. Yesterday, we were looking at the dollar index and we were talking about the gap when the dollar opened, right? When Forex opened. So I polled you guys. I said, are we going to fill this gap, or is the dollar going to move up and leave that gap open? And it looks like the people that voted that the gap would get filled would definitely correct eventually. Like, it did take some time for it to get back down, but Yeah, we got a beautiful correction causing a new low on the dollar index. But yeah, this huge spike, I haven't really done any research into what caused that. But you can see how clean that inverse head and shoulders is right there, right? That's a very clean example of a reversal. So an inverse head and shoulders is a reversal pattern, not a continuation pattern. Much the same as this one, so there was a bit of a head and shoulders going on here too. So depending on where you want to draw that shoulder, maybe you could maybe this could be classed as the shoulder. It's like a bit of a double hump there. But it's just the filter. Ooh. See, is that hair gel? No, it's not gel. It's like, I don't know what you call it. But yeah, gel was what I used in primary school. Anyway, this is like totally taking me off track here. All right, I'm gonna wear a hat in the next stream, I think. So let me check what's so DOGE. That's another one that everyone likes to have a bit of an update on. So we'll cover that too. Still above 9 cents. We're at the midway point, so basically 9.5, right? Let's take a measurement with the Fibonacci retracement, and we'll see off this move what sort of line of defense we got going on here. So we're basically trending on top of the 382 fib level. So we've retraced, we've pulled back and found support. There was a deep test, almost to 9 cents. And, you know, we've maintained prices above that. So we're still technically, you know, in this formation, we are in an uptrend still on Dogecoin. There's still higher lows. We just need to basically continue this trend. We need to get above that point there, because otherwise we are facing a reversal to, you know, a new downtrend on Doge to take us back maybe below 8 cents or even to 8 cents. So, you know, you just basically use the zigzags, right? So this is starting to look like maybe it could form a head and shoulders, which would reverse it from this direction up to this direction down, right? Head and shoulders. So there was a really nice inverse head and shoulders right here, actually. You see that? See, they're everywhere if you look for them. This one here didn't quite play out. It was invalidated because price just kept chopping sideways. So that didn't totally work out. This is, you know, you could probably class this as a head and shoulders as well, because as long as the head is taller than the two shoulders there, that's going to reverse the trend there. So that's what we're working with. Let me yeah, that's better. You won't be able to see my hair now. One minute. There might be better filters than that. Today the FUD was max. As in, what do you mean by max? Like maximum, or is there a ticker called max? Ethereum max? Like the Kim Kardashian coin? Wrapped Ethereum token. Yeah. Yeah, the FUD out there is still thick, like it's still coming in and everyone's still uncertain and fearful, right? It's just the reality. We'll just have to deal with it until the until the sentiment changes, hopefully we get a bit of that with the releases of data this week. We've got all right, let me turn this off. So the releases of data this week are here as follows. So we've got consumer confidence tomorrow, farm employment change rather, the GDP figures, JOLTS job openings on Thursday. Jerome Powell is making a statement on Thursday, so we'll see like what he's looking at or what he's thinking about. So that should be interesting. And then what else we got here? The PCE price index. So if I open this up, the PCE, personal consumption expenditures. So in similar like with the PCI. So yeah, it is a big week. Yesterday's stream, we talked about what was coming up, so that's all on the cards. And then obviously mid-December we get our CPI data and the funds rate decision by the Fed, by the FOMC, if you want to get technical. So that's what we're looking at. Just give me a brief second. I want to see what other filters this has. I like the donkey. It's a shame they don't have a kangaroo. A kangaroo would be pretty fitting, I suppose. So give me a second. This app has a lot of different filters. I think it's basically the Snapchat filters that have been all put into a program. There's heaps of them, huh? Anyway, I promise I'll get back on track in a second. Well, this could be handy. We'll be using this at some point in probably less than a month. I think this filter will definitely be necessary. That's a bit scary. Walter? Oh. Yeah, maybe if DOGE does another rally, I'll put this filter on. The Dogecoin. This is probably just like a color filter. Yeah. Oh, Voldemort. Okay. Well, the mouth doesn't quite move as naturally with this filter, but it's still a cool filter, I think. There is a Rick filter, but the mouth doesn't move, which is unfortunate. So it's not quite as good. I do like the donkey. He's cool. The donkey's very cool. This is the... Oh yeah, these are creepy. I don't know if this will work, but... No, it doesn't work. See, some filters don't actually register properly. Oh, Okay, let's just pick one and then just continue on. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Sorry about that. There, that fixes it. Maybe this is what I should do for my next haircut. Just completely shave it off. What did I have before? All right, let me get back on track here. Let me get back on track. Okay. Rick realizing why we're all here. Yeah, that's it. All right. Let's check out the macro view for Bitcoin. So we've got, and I'm going to turn off these levels just so that we can see a bit clearer, because it sort of hides the price when you view it this way. Okay, we'll turn off the drawings. How about that? So right now, this is still looking like it could be a bearish continuation pattern. So that totally aligns with a drop further to new lows for the year. So I'm definitely that's more likely at this stage than any kind of push back to 20k and above, or even even 18. But it really depends on the market sentiment derived from the dollar index, and also what's happening with the Federal Reserve and the interest rates and the inflation data. So Bitcoin performing off its own merit, that'll come after the stock market picks back up, I believe, and inflation really starts to get under control. That's when crypto kind of has the green light to just perform off its own merit, I guess you could say. But at the moment, because the whole planet, the whole world is feeling economic hardship, and we're still trying to figure it out and find where the direction is headed, because it's still very unclear. A lot of people are calling for a lot worse to come, and that's possible, I suppose. But we'll know it when we see it. The thing is, people have been calling for a recession since 2008. Since we sort of recovered off that the GFC, right? That whole trend up to the S&P all-time high. There's been people calling for a recession every day since, that it's coming, that it's just a matter of time. So that's nothing new. What's that saying? A broken clock is correct twice a day, or something like that. So that's kind of how I see it. If we go to the S&P 500 and go to say the daily chart, we're still in this uptrend until we break the structure, and until we start getting lows lower than that line, or even better, lows going below this pivot. This is still a valid uptrend. Now, to continue the uptrend, we want to see highs. You would need to get highs higher than this, and that would validate this as continuing to move up. Now, the one thing to notice is we are in a bit of a rising wedge here, so that's bearish. That is a bearish pattern on the chart for the S&P 500. So I'll just fix this up here and we'll draw it in, and we'll keep track of it. Lock that in. And this in here. Cool. So that's similar to what we got back here, right? Rising wedge, continuation of the downtrend. So by no means are we like recovering off this year's correction on the stock market, at least for the S&P 500. Now, the Dow Jones is holding up a bit different. It's actually really bizarre. Let me show you the Dow. Moment. So if we go to the daily, you can see we actually pulled in a higher high than the previous one, like marginally. Now you could be calling this, and it would be fair to say this is a double top at the moment. Like if we correct off that, that would be a double top. So it is early to call it, but you know, arguably this is also in a bit of a rising wedge as well. So there's something like this going on. So the bottom side isn't as clean as, say, the top. I think the top side might be slightly cleaner for pulling in that wedge. And you know, where you start the wedge is a bit you know what, maybe it's not as clean. Maybe both sides are a bit a bit of a mess. Either way, there is a lot of sort of points to look at here that suggest that this will fall out, and it already is kind of falling out of this structure. So we'll see if it you know, what the week ahead brings, and see if it can find support and continue to rally. But just looking at this chart, like it certainly looks like it's due to correct, you know, after hitting this high here. So the cool thing about the stock market is usually with support and resistance, it usually like the tests, at least in this instance here, is a fairly clean test. Like it doesn't go too heavily beyond you know, the previous high. So at least with crypto, you get crazy activity through supports and resistances. Now, obviously, there's an instance here where we had a dirty test of this low, right? So this is kind of like what crypto does more often than the stock market. And then obviously, in the stock market, all of the tools like your RSI, MACD, they're all built and designed for the stock market. We just apply them to the crypto market. So it's a bit different looking at the stock market to crypto and doing technical analysis, because there's a little bit less manipulation apparently in the stock market. I haven't traded the stock market, but looking at the charts, you can sort of see it. Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't already, smash up the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you know, I would totally appreciate if you did. You know, you'll catch the next stream, the future streams. I plan to try and stay as active as I can, like at least aim for one stream a day in the mornings. Well, my morning, your afternoons, or your evenings in the US. So that's the Dow. That's the Dow Jones. This is the S&P. And then what else have we got going on? We've got the Nasdaq, which is trending a bit more in line with the S&P 500. You know, not pulling in those higher highs yet. It's a lot weaker in performance than, say, the Dow Jones. So if we just pull a comparison, we'll go on the daily chart and reset everything here. And I will get back to Bitcoin in just a second, but yeah, comparing, see how the Dow Jones has pulled in this beautiful rally all the way up to test this high here. This is the comparative high on the NASDAQ, we have nowhere near even attempted to come up near that level. And same with the S&P 500. It's a little bit brighter on the S&P 500 than the NASDAQ, but yeah, there's still a ways up before we even come up to test that level. So very much still in this downtrend on the S&P 500. All right. I've heard a few different people say that crypto follows the NASDAQ, and then there's other people that tie it closer to the S&P 500 and they look at that more often. And then, you know, some people even argue that the Dow Jones is the one to look at because it's, you know, for whatever reason. I think it's fair to look at all three and just sort of see what's going on. Maybe someone has an explanation for why the Dow Jones has outperformed the S&P and the NASDAQ in the last month or so, right? The last 2 months. Woodworking, DC Woodworking. Thank you for the super chat. Care to have a look at ADA charts? Thanks for what you do, Rick. Yeah, of course, not a problem, man. Thanks for the support. Let me open up Cardano, Serrano's favorite word, ADA, Cardano. Yeah, it is still looking very bleak. I'm trying to see, like, from a macro perspective where this might pull up and find support. So there's a few key pivot levels here. There's one down here. There's a couple down here as well. These are like pretty sharp pivots. And then there's an example of support at that level. And that kind of coincides with this high here almost. So I'm going to draw a few lines in as potential supports that are going to be coming up if ADA continues to correct, right? If Cardano continues to trend down. So we've got like 7.5. Let's just call it 7.5, right? 7.5 cents. We're currently at 30, so this is like a very dire target. I'm not by any means saying that it's gonna go there, because there's obviously some other pivots that we have to look at first before moving down that low. There's a lot of action off 17 cents, it looks like. So this fell short of a test of 17. This broke through 17, but still seemed to have resistance and you know, candles closing below it at the time. So this is basically the back end of 2020. So I think just to sort of split the difference here, I'm going to draw a line in at, say, 16 cents. And that would be like a very key level to look at as well, to try and, you know, expect support. What I'll do as well is draw in a fib retracement, maybe coming out from the COVID drop, so down here all the way up to the all-time high. I'm going to jump out on the weekly chart just to get that in. One moment. All right, here we go. Let's lock that in. Now we are on a log view. The prices stay the same though. So you can see the 618 is pulling in $1.1955, $1.1955. So the prices are still the same, whether you're log or linear. So we've totally smashed through the 786 fib level. So from a Fibonacci perspective, from all these like primary fib levels, like, you know, we've retraced beyond that, and you know, a full retracement down here it's a long way away. A lot would have to happen for ADA to lose these support levels, but yeah, it's interesting to see that it's totally lost all of these fib levels, taking a retracement from the COVID dip. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out There's a bit of a structure there. There's a falling wedge, no doubt. And it's a bit more evident on the logarithmic view, like you can probably see it a bit cleaner. Let's pull in from the all-time high and trace this way. See, we're even a ways off from testing the resistance. So Bitcoin's doing a similar thing. It's got a resistance coming down from the all-time high, and you know, we're looking to try and break out and test it. From a linear perspective, though, you can see that line's vastly different. So we'll draw a linear resistance line in too, but I believe we broke that already. So that's your linear one there, or maybe even, yeah, this seems to be like, I think that's valid, and I'll show you why. So this linear trend line, so we've had, starting from all-time high, first test, second test, here's the break, here's the retest with support on that trend line. Now that price has since, you know, spent many weeks beyond that. That back test happened back in May this year, and we've just been sort of like chopping sideways, you know, slightly bleeding out. So let's see where the next pivot. So we lost the high, the previous all-time high of April 2018. It's a shame this chart only goes back so far with price information, price history, but I think that would be worth drawing in as a support line too. So maybe that's going to act as resistance moving forward. Like, you know, it's a point to beat basically on the chart. Now that price is, let's call it 39 cents or 38.85, so roughly 39 cents. And we're currently trading at 30. So yeah, I guess the only chance that ADA has to really like sort of start rallying here is if Bitcoin and crypto as a whole gets the show on the road. I'm not sure, like, looking into the past markets, whether Bitcoin, whether Cardano rallies after Bitcoin or whether it rallies before Bitcoin, kind of like how Litecoin did in previous bull markets. So that's kind of cool. Like, I haven't looked at, that's a chart that I'm going to look at. Oh, right. Let me draw in this the bottom edge of this falling wedge here. So we've got the support structure. Now, depending where you pull it from, I'm more inclined to pull it from here and trace it across. There's only, see, the problem with this is there's only like one test so far on that bottom side. So if we exclude that wick, we're just trying to get like the most price activity off, like find the trend, right? Find the trend line. So perhaps it's more something like that. And remember, this is like a logarithmic trend that we're looking at, because when you go linear, the trend completely changes, right? But yeah, I wouldn't be expecting anything explosive out of ADA at this stage. Cardano's not gonna pull in any bull run anytime soon. Bitcoin is our traffic light, right? And crypto total market cap as well. We should be looking at that more often. Let me open up the total market cap. All right. So crypto total is pretty much trending well below $1 trillion. Let me zoom out. We're on the 5 minute here. Let's go to the daily. So yeah, we're back underneath this trend line. So we kind of did like a breakout here. We actually were starting to look optimistic because we broke out and then back tested and found support and then rallied up and got a new high. And then I believe, yep, this was the SBF, the FTX collapse right here, this whole drop. So thanks a lot, FTX. You've just delayed everything by like probably months and months. Anyway, So we're pretty much, yeah, we're finding resistance back under this trend line for now again, which sucks, but that's where we're at. That's the reality that we're dealing with. Support. Let's see if there's any like support on total crypto market cap as well. So we've got our 2017, 2018 all-time high here. That is a very important pivot point for the total crypto market cap. Let me just draw a trend line across there because that's a huge pivot. I'm going to make that a bright color so that we can track it and it stands out. All right. And you can see, like, even though it came in years ago, right, that trend line, look at the sharp reaction of it right here. Bang, like straight there. Very clean retest and you know, example of support of a previous resistance. And look at this, we're getting weekly candle support. So the close and opens of these candles are all above that previous high. So I wouldn't be writing off crypto as a whole yet until we start getting weekly closes below $761 billion total market cap. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. There's some, yeah, pretty nice support there. You can see how cooled off we are on the oscillators here on the weekly chart. So, you know, we've even come below oversold on the RSI. And we're actually pulling in some divergence here. So there's bullish divergence on the weekly time frame for total crypto market cap. We've got lower lows on price. Let's pull it to this low here, just to compare it with the lows that we're getting on the RSI. Now I will have to stretch this chart so you can see it. But those lows are, you know, that's a lower low there. And then on RSI, if we compare the same points, the same positions on the chart, you can already see where this is going. We've got, okay, that is the low, and then the corresponding low point is here. So even if you do trace it down to this wick here, it's still divergent. So you can see the pattern, the behavior of price and RSI. It's totally getting bullish divergence right now on the weekly time frame. So that's no small deal. Like it's a pretty clear signal. And you know, obviously Bitcoin's pulling that same result because, you know, being the dominant crypto still, Bitcoin, it has a lot of influence, or it has a lot of correlation to the total crypto market cap. Now, does this mean that it can't go lower? No, it doesn't mean that. Like, it's a strong indication that we may see another rally up because of the divergence, but it's not guaranteed. So always like consider the other side of the coin. You know, we could still draw in lower lows on price, and you know, even the divergence could basically correct itself if we get another sharp push down. You know, that's when this bullish divergence gets invalidated. But so far it's valid for now. We haven't got that drop. We're holding support above 761 billion at this stage. So that's our line of defense for now. Actually, let me leave that in there. I'll leave that divergence line there. Save this chart on the daily. All right, let me catch up with some of these comments here. The $21.5 thousand reject on BTC was a major point area that was needed to break through and close above with strength. Yeah, and we barely touched it. Yeah, that's true. I think that was before the FTX collapse, right? The 21.5. So back up here. Yeah. So we fell short of even getting to 21.5. It was 21,480 or something. Yeah, Solana is very sketchy. Just the involvement that it had with FTX, and I'm not sure if there was direct, like the Solana dev team. I don't know if they had direct influence or ties to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, like whether there was something going on there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do a bit more research on that and then come back to you guys with what I found. But it's a shame. I'm very disappointed to hear that Solana, yeah, had such basically that FTX and Solana were in bed with each other. Not sure. We'll have to find out. I think there may be more to it than just that FTX held 10% of Solana's circulating supply. So there could be more to that. So for now, like, yeah, it's a bit of an iffy altcoin to try and get back into and invest heavily. So Solana comes with a warning. Who knows? Maybe the team is totally innocent to all that drama, and it's just that Alameda and FTX picked that as the coin to basically manipulate and pump. But yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out more and more things about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried are coming to light every day now. Like each new day, we find out more stuff, more dirt. So for now, like we're gonna park that as like well, at least from my perspective, not financial advice. Make up your own mind, do your own research with that, but. There are plenty of other great projects to look at. Let's check out Matic, because Matic is like, it has a lot of promise and it's been performing interesting in the past couple of months. We're nowhere near the low that we pulled in June. This was way down here, right? And we're still maintaining price nice and high here, above 70 cents. So 70 cents seems to be like some kind of support level for Matic at the moment. My only price concerns for Matic is if we lose 70 cents. So I'm still optimistic that, still optimistic that this is gonna be an awesome performer in the next bull market, whenever that may be, even if it takes 12 months. Because a crypto winter, quote unquote, is pretty likely. It's becoming more and more likely as more things come to light. I haven't looked at what the latest is with Genesis and Grayscale, like what the situation is there. I don't think there's any developments yet, especially no positive developments anyway. We're looking at 14 minutes to go until the daily candle closes here, so yeah, chopping sideways here. This to me, much like these ranges here, that we pull in these like choppy areas of just indecision. This kind of looks like this area here, like just a whole lot of volatility with no clean direction. So very difficult to trade in this kind of environment until we get, confirmation of a breakout. So let's go down to the smaller time frames. Let's check the EMAs actually. So we're very much back below the 200 on the 15-minute. I think a couple of streams ago we were looking at the 200 and the fact that price had got back on top, and it was starting to look, optimistic. Yeah, it really all sort of fell apart when price broke here underneath, and that was largely due to the dollar index, I believe. Let me close some of these charts off and I'll find it. It's the Forex factory thing. Okay, DXY. Yeah, due to all this business here, like how we've rallied up, dropped, and then really pushed up severe. That initial rally here is what caused the drop. Like, I think it was like a big part of the causation of Bitcoin losing this level and trending down. It at least got the ball rolling, right? So we're now, sitting at a level of support. It's this part here, this massive. It looks like a bunch of liquidity grabs. Like, so we've got long liquidations here, short liquidations up here, and then we've come back and settled in this range. So if we exclude that, if we exclude this crazy volatility here, we've got ourselves a bit of a range, and that's sort of below this yellow, which is the weekly, that weekly line of support that we have going on with the close and opens. Just here. So where all these weekly candles are closing and opening. Closing, closing, opening, closing, potentially. That's what that yellow line is. Now, let me just jump back down to the hour. Where are we pulling this line from? So this pivot back here. We're sort of stuck between that as a range now. So there's sort of like a rectangle situation happening again. So if we draw that in, something like this, and you could argue it goes beyond that, but yeah, the bottom half here is not as clean, but it's something like that. So yeah, when we get a clean break with a couple of candle closes beyond or outside of this rectangle, we might know our new direction. We're pretty extended away from the EMAs here, so perhaps a retest of we've just come up and got rejected by the 20 EMA here. But if we maintain this level, this area as support, then maybe we can come up and attack the 50 and see if we can get back on top of things. But that's one way to sort of get some perspective on like what the market structure is doing, is using these EMAs. And the higher time frame you go, the more perspective you have. Obviously, we're way below the 200 on the 4-hour and the daily still. We've been way under the daily 200 for months and months, but pretty much all year we've been getting hammered by these moving averages. Little brief signs of optimism. There was some here, just as we're breaking above the 20 and the 50. But for the most part, we just keep getting pushed down. So yeah, very much bear market behavior. Static. $2. What's happening, my dude? Thanks for the support. Hope you're doing well. All right. So that's pretty much where we're at. It's looking kind of indecisive just now. I think the smart point of view to hold here is that we're bearish. Obviously, we're in a downtrend still on the macro view, and there's no sign yet that we've broken that structure of the downtrend. And this whole section here spells out, bearish continuation. So until we break that structure, and this thick white line here trending down, that's kind of like a big line in the sand. Price would need to break that to start looking optimistic, I think. Maybe we're looking at an inverse head and shoulders. It's early to call, but we've at least got a left shoulder ahead and starting to form a potential right shoulder And if we, find support at least higher than this low, maybe that's when you can start, projecting and looking at an inverse head and shoulders reversal here. But early days yet for that sort of theory. Anyway, I'm gonna jump into the Discord actually. If anyone wants to hop in for a chat, feel free. I'm gonna put a link up for it in the YouTube chat, so bear with me. And it's totally free to join, by the way. I'm sure most of you guys are aware of that. Free Discord. So let's pin that up. I used to have a bot where you could type out like !! Discord or something, and it would come up with a link to it. But yeah, I have to go back and review all that stuff. I think it's Streamlabs or something. It's been a while since I've been on there. I think it's all broken at this point, and I have to like fix it all up. Streamlabs. Yeah, it's asking me to log in. I can't even remember my login. I'll have to fix that up off stream, and maybe we can get it running again later. What's up, Frank Lee? We have fun on Discord. Yeah, that's good. That's what it's all about. It's all about bouncing ideas off each other and having fun, and has to be a positive experience, hopefully. A few good debates here and there don't hurt. It's always good. All right, so let me hop into the voice. Here we go. What's up, my dudes?
Yo.
What's up?
Anything enlightening you want to share on the stream? No. Yeah. The price pretty much reflects that sentiment as well. No one really knows what's happening. It's just flat and boring until we get some kind of, catalyst for the next move,
Yeah, well, I mean, we got BlockFi. Their bankruptcy stuff starts tomorrow. I think they just filed today.
Yep. It's kind of scary, I suppose.
Yeah, they're suing SBF, and they're suing SBF's personal something, like it's like his holding company, not necessarily FTX, I believe. They're suing him for like 620 million worth of Robinhood shares.
Wow.
That's interesting to see what happens with that. Then you got Solana that's locked up and held by the liquidators, like they're 13% of, or FTX is 13% of Solana, so there's that.
Yeah.
Big Boy is gonna do an interview with SBF in the next
Is he?
2 weeks.
Did he agree to it finally?
So supposedly SBF unblocked him, he got a hold of him, and he's going to Miami for right now, for the time being, and then he'll be heading back to the Bahamas to do some sort of interview, whether it's a Twitter space, YouTube, whatever, on his YouTube channel. So supposedly that's going to be happening in the next 2 weeks.
That'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, just going back through BitBoy Crypto's YouTube channel and seeing all of the videos that he's been putting up, warning of